All right, get ready for this one. It's a seriously wild story from ancient India. I'm talking about a monk, a king, and, get this, 84,000 golden monkeys. It sounds like the setup to a joke, right? But it's actually this incredible karmic detective story. And trust me, the payoff is huge.
So yeah, that's the big mystery here. Why on earth is a Buddhist monk just playing with a massive troop of golden monkeys? It seems completely nuts. But the answer? Wow. It takes us through hell, into heaven, and across a whole lot of lifetimes. Now, before we jump into the deep end, I just want to say, this isn't some fairy tale someone made up last week. This comes straight from an ancient Buddhist text, the Jataka tales. These are stories that are all about the Buddhist past lives, so it's got some serious historical weight to it.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're in the city of Rajgir, and something very strange is happening. And when I say strange, I mean it's causing a major scandal. So, there's this monk, right? His name is Vasu-mitra. He's a really respected guy, comes from a good family, the whole deal. But then one day, he just starts acting like a monkey. I mean, literally leaping through the trees, hooting, chattering, the works. People are freaking out. They're like, what is going on? The Buddha's followers look like a bunch of circus performers. And just when you think it can't get any weirder, it does. A huge group, 84,000 monkeys, all with this amazing golden fur, they come down from the mountains and join him. They're dancing, singing, even playing instruments. It's just this massive, bizarre party breaking out in a monastery garden. Nobody can explain it.
Well, you can bet word of this gets around. It goes all the way up to the king, King Bimbisāra, and he's not having it. He decides he needs to figure out what is going on and fast.
So the king marches right up to the Buddha. He's basically asking the questions on everyone's mind. Why are these monkeys golden? Why are they animals to begin with? And what in the world happened to Vasu-mitra, this supposedly respected monk? And this is where our karmic detective story really begins, with the Buddha about to crack the case.
All right, so the Buddha starts to lay it all out. Let's call this case file number 1, the mysterious past of our monkey monk, Vasu-mitra.
Okay, quick sidebar. To get what's happening here, you have to get the main rule of this universe, karma. The idea is simple, right? What goes around comes around. Every action has a reaction, not just now, but in future lives too. The present is basically an echo of everything you've done before.
So the Buddha starts telling this story from way, way back. It's about 2 monks. The first guy, Lotus Treasury, he was corrupt. He was all about schmoozing with the rich and powerful, totally breaking his vows. The other guy was an arahant. Think of that as a perfectly enlightened being who is all about pure meditation. And you just know these two are on a collision course. And man, the journey of that corrupt monk's soul is a roller coaster. After he dies, bam, he's sent to the deepest hell for a ridiculously long time. After he pays that price, he gets reborn over and over again as animals. A cow, a camel, a pig, and finally a monkey. But then something amazing happens. As a monkey, he stumbles upon that super virtuous arhat just meditating. And the monkey, just out of pure instinct, starts copying him. Sits in the same posture, pretends to offer incense. The arhat sees this little spark of goodness and teaches the monkey the 5 basic rules of good conduct. And get this, that one single good act was so powerful that when the monkey died, he was reborn in heaven, just from that one moment.
Okay, so that explains the monk's deal. But what about that army of 84,000 golden monkeys? Well, for that, we need to open up case file number 2.
The Buddha pivots to another story from the past. This one's about a whole community of 84,000 nuns. And just like our first monk, they had, let's just say, they lost their way. They got totally caught up in how they looked, their social status. All this vanity and disrespect just took over their spiritual lives.
So one day, this incredibly wise and enlightened nun, another arhat, comes to warn them, to try to get them back on track. But instead of listening, they just mock her. They make fun of her simple clothes and her old weathered face. And then they say the one thing that changes everything. They insult her, saying, "Where did this old monkey come from?" And that one line, that's what seals their fate.
And there you have it, the karmic boomerang. Because they call the holy person a monkey, they were doomed to be reborn as monkeys for 1,000 lifetimes. And the golden fur? That's actually a faint reminder of some gold jewelry they offered as a kind of fake apology, right after that arhat nun showed them her true powers.
And their suffering was just astronomical. I mean, before they even got to the monkey part, that one insult sent them to hell for 92 kalpas. And a kalpa, it's an absurdly long time.
Think longer than it would take for a mountain to wear away from being brushed by a piece of silk once every 100 years. Just mind-boggling. After that, 500 lifetimes as hungry ghosts. It's an unbelievable price to pay for a few nasty words.
Okay, so now we have both case files open. We've got the story of the monk and the story of the nuns. And now the Buddha is about to bring it all together and blow everyone's minds.
And here it is, the big reveal. That corrupt monk who found his way back as a monkey, that's Vasu-mitra, our monkey monk in the present day. Those 84,000 disrespectful nuns, they are the 84,000 golden monkeys. And that wise arahant who saved the monkey in the first story, that was a past life of the Buddha himself. Oh, and King Bimbisāra, turns out he was a guy who used to give money to those nuns, so he's all tied up in their karma too. See, Vasu-mitra isn't acting crazy. He's instinctively replaying the very moment that saved him right in front of the souls who need to witness it the most.
And when everyone hears this, it's like a light bulb goes on for the entire crowd. The king finally gets it. Vasu-mitra understands why he's been acting this way. And even the monkeys, they somehow understand their own story. And in that moment, they all repent and commit to seeking enlightenment.
And the story's not even over. The Buddha then makes a prophecy. Because of everything he's been through, Vasu-mitra will one day become a perfect Buddha himself, and his name will be Lion Moon. I mean, talk about a comeback story. He goes from a corrupt monk, through hell, becomes an animal, and ends up on a path to becoming a Buddha. That is the ultimate redemption arc. So, at the end of it all, the Buddha delivers the big takeaway. The whole point of this crazy story is about the power of precepts. You know, just basic ethical rules. He calls it the nectar of immortality. Why? Because living a good, ethical life is the only thing that lets you break out of these endless, exhausting cycles of suffering and rebirth.
So this wild, ancient tale leaves us with a pretty modern question, doesn't it? In this worldview, every single thing you do, every word you say, is writing your future story. The choices we make decide if we end up as a king or a monk or, a monkey. It really makes you stop and think, right? If our actions are writing our story, what kind of story are you writing today?